The next step is to elicit as many positive memories of making successful decisions as you can from your target. And the way you want to frame this is by saying, I want you to make a good decision, Mr. Customer. I want you to have a good outcome because of this conversation. And because our reputation of this company here at XYZ Acme Widgets or whatever, I would rather you make a good decision and not buy the product than make a bad decision and buy the product, because I would rather get referrals, and it's better for our business in the long run if I can help you make a good decision. So under that context, how do you make good decisions? How do you know when you're going to make a good decision? Now, most people are not going to be able to answer this. Most people don't have a specific, consciously understood decision-making strategy. And so when they kind of think, well, I don't know, you can say something like this. Well, what are some of the best decisions you've ever made? And once they come up with one, you can start asking more questions. And once they come up with one decision, one memory of a good decision, it'll be a lot easier for them to come up with more and more decisions. And once they start talking about their past decisions that worked out, you just sit back and enjoy the show. Keep asking questions, keep asking follow-up questions. And what you're really looking for is a kind of low-key ego flex energy when they start to almost kind of low-key brag about all the great decisions they've made. And you want to ask about all kinds of decisions, huge life decisions, like why they chose their house, how they chose their spouse, how they knew their spouse was the right choice, how they chose their career, how they knew their career was the right decision, how they chose their major in college, how they knew that was the right decision. And also ask about small decisions, how they chose what they ate for breakfast, how they chose the shirt they're wearing, how they chose the school to put their kids in. And just keep asking about all their decisions, big decisions, small decisions. How did you know that was going to be a good decision? And just let them talk about their decisions. And what you're looking for is to recall as many good decisions as you can to put them in the now mental state of, I'm a person who makes decisions and this is how I make decisions. That's the ideal state of mind to put them in before you close them on your product. The next step is kind of similar. It's going to feel very similar. And this is probably the easiest step, is when you ask them about their past successes. Ask them about their greatest accomplishments. And if you've already talked to them about some of their greatest decisions, you don't really need to preface this or frame this anyway. Just say something simple like, tell me about your greatest successes. Tell me about your greatest accomplishments. And they'll just start talking. And the more they talk, the longer they talk, the better. Just sit back, enjoy the show, be like somebody who's watching a stage performer, and just keep asking questions and follow-up questions and get them to talk as long as you possibly can about all of their greatest accomplishments. The next step is a little bit more difficult to set up, but it's still fairly easy. Say something like this, or you might say something like this to start the conversation going. You say something like, you strike me as somebody who doesn't really give up very easily. Am I imagining this, or is this more or less correct? And they'll say, yeah, that's kind of correct. And then you get them talking about how they overcome obstacles. What's it like when you come up to a setback? How do you know how to get through that obstacle? How do you know what to do to circumvent those obstacles? How do you know what to do to crush obstacles that come up in your path? Tell me about some of the greatest obstacles you've overcome. What are the most proudest moments where you've overcome obstacles? And just get them talking about how they crush obstacles. And the longer they talk about this, the better. This will put them in the mindset of, I make good decisions, I have great successes, and when some obstacle comes up, I crush right through it. This will significantly decrease the chances that they'll come up with last-minute resistance when you go to close them. So ask about decisions, ask about their greatest successes, and ask about how they overcome obstacles. And with each one of these categories, get them talking as long as you possibly can. Relax, enjoy the show, ask questions, ask follow-up questions, and let them entertain you with their subconscious ego flex.